There are some things that disappear so gradually that we scarcely notice them going. Not necessarily grand things, just the ordinary objects that once formed the backdrop to everyday life. The things that sat quietly in our homes, serving a purpose, carrying memories and becoming so familiar that people hardly thought about them at all. Many of these objects have vanished because modern replacements are easier, cheaper, or more convenient. Yet somehow, in losing them, we've also lost some of the rituals and comforts that surrounded them, and many were very decorative objects in themselves, designed with care and thought for beauty. Today I thought it would be lovely to look at 20 things that almost every old-fashioned home once had, but which have now largely disappeared from everyday life, and perhaps along the way we'll rediscover a little of the charm they brought with them. The first is clocks that needed winding, not battery-operated clocks, but clocks that demanded a little attention from their owners. I have a carriage clock that needs winding regularly, and an old schoolhouse clock with a pendulum that quietly beats time throughout the day. The clock face is hexagonal, and somehow it has become part of the fabric of my life. It's been there for as long as I can remember, stretching right back to my earliest childhood memories. Old clocks don't simply tell the time. They ticked steadily through the day, marked the passing hours, chimed from mantelpieces in hallways, and reminded us that time was moving forward at its own gentle pace. The second thing every old-fashioned home seemed to possess was a mending basket. Today we often replace things when they wear out, but for earlier generations, repairing was simply part of life. Buttons were sewn back on, tears were patched, socks were darned, even stockings were mended. In fact, special mending thread was sold in different natural shades so that repairs could be made as invisibly as possible. A mending basket wasn't a hobby item, it was a household necessity. Our third object is the best tea set. Tea occupied a rather different place in the home then. Loose tea was often kept in decorative tins and measured into a teapot before being brewed. Teacups were accompanied by saucers, and there was a special tea set reserved for visitors or special occasions. Many families had one that appeared only when company arrived. The cup, plates and teapot were treated with care because they represented hospitality, celebration and family gatherings. Number 4 is embroidered linens. Tablecloths, tray cloths, napkins and bed linens such as pillowcases were often embroidered by hand. Hours of work went into them. Flowers, baskets, birds, crinolined ladies and trailing vines appeared in colourful stitches, worked during quiet evenings at home. These weren't merely decorative objects, they were expressions of care. Many became treasured possessions passed down through generations. Number 5 is an old-fashioned kitchen filled with displayed china, preserves and decorative tins. Before fitted kitchens concealed everything behind uniform cupboard doors, kitchens often displayed the things that were used and loved. Shelves held rows of china. Jars of homemade preserves caught the light. Decorative tins sat on dressers and shelves. The kitchen wasn't merely a workspace. It often reflected the personality of the household itself. The sixth thing is bookshelves filled with well-read books. Many homes had a small collection of classics that were read again and again. The books might not have been numerous, but they were familiar companions. There was often a special children's bookshelf too, stories that became beloved favourites. Books whose pages softened from handling. Books that were read aloud by the fire on winter evenings. Number 7 is a wardrobe of handmade and carefully repaired clothes. For much of the 20th century, it was perfectly ordinary for women to sew. The sewing machine was not tucked away as a hobby item. It was in regular use. Clothes were altered, repaired, and remade. Children's garments might pass between siblings. Fabric scraps were saved. A dress represented many hours of work and was never casually discarded. The 8th item is the eiderdown bed. Before duvets became common, beds were made rather differently. Sheets were tucked neatly with carefully folded corners. Blankets provided warmth, and on top sat a colourful eiderdown. Many people still remember the comforting featherweight of one. Making the bed properly was almost an art form in itself. Number 9 is something younger viewers may never have encountered at all, the nightdress case. These could be beautifully embroidered silk cases that opened at the back. For children, they often took the form of dolls, bears, or other animals wearing large skirts designed to conceal a folded nightdress. Part toy and part practical storage, they brought a touch of whimsy to bedtime. The 10th thing is hats. Much of the early 20th century, hats were an everyday necessity. Men wore them, women wore them. Many homes had hat stands in the hallway and hat boxes stored on top of wardrobes. Leaving the house bareheaded was considered highly unusual. Number 11 is framed studio portraits. Photographs were precious. Having a studio portrait taken was often a significant occasion. People dressed carefully and sat solemnly before the camera. The resulting images were framed and displayed with pride. Family members who had passed away remained present in these photographs, watching quietly from mantelpieces and walls. Number 12 is toys that were treasured rather than disposable. My mother's Peter Bear has been with her since childhood. She also inherited a rather wonderful toothy cat dating back from the late 1920s or early 1930s. These toys survived because they mattered. Children often had fewer toys, but they formed deeper attachments to them. Each one has a personality of its own. Many toys were handmade too. Patterns appeared regularly in magazines. I have examples of a rag doll. Number 13 is the hot water bottle with a handmade cover. In many homes, only one room was heated properly. Bedrooms could be remarkably cold. A hot water bottle was therefore an essential companion. Many people made covers for them from knitted wool, patchwork or embroidered fabric. I covered my hot water bottle with a border collie print so that when I fill my hot water bottle before bed, I think of my own beloved dogs. It's a small comfort, but a very real one. The 14th item is handmade soft furnishings, rag rugs from scraps, tapestry cushions, embroidered cushions, patchwork bedspreads, patchwork cushions. These items brought colour and individuality into a home. Nothing was wasted. Small scraps of fabric found new life and became objects that might last for decades. Number 15 is the trunk and travelling case. Older luggage was built to endure. I have a large monogrammed trunk that seems almost cavernous inside. And I also have a lady's suitcase containing silver-lidded glass jars, a hairbrush, clothes brush and mirror, all monogrammed with the letter G. The clasps are beautifully made. The fittings are sturdy. They're not particularly easy to manoeuvre, but they possess a beauty and permanence that modern luggage often lacks. Number 16 is the writing desk and headed paper. Before emails, texts and social media, letters connected family and friends across distances. Many homes had a dedicated writing desk, a place for correspondence, diaries, invitations and thank you letters. Good stationery was valued. Handwriting mattered. And receiving a letter was an event in itself. Number 17 is the telephone. Not the mobile phone that travels everywhere with us today, but the household telephone. I have a beautiful 1930s example and an orange Bakelite phone that still works. The telephone, a landline, occupied a fixed place in the home. And because everyone shared the same telephone, conversations were rarely quite as private as they might be today. Many people remember a landline phone situated in the hallway with a telephone chair to sit on during the call. From this position, most other members of the home could hear at least snatches of what was being said. Number 18 is the wireless and gramophone. Long before television dominated family life, Households gathered around the wireless. Families listened to music, comedy programs and news broadcasts together. The gramophone brought recorded music into the home. I have one that winds up by hand and plays through a large brass horn. I also love the decorative record sleeves, many featuring elegant couples dancing across the covers. They remind me of a time when listening to music was often an activity in its own right. Number 19 is the Barometer. These once hung in hallways and sitting rooms throughout Britain. People consulted them regularly before heading outdoors, especially in a country where the weather can change its mind several times in a single afternoon. A barometer connected people to the rhythms of nature and the changing seasons. And finally, number 20, walking sticks in the hallway. Many old homes had a collection of walking sticks standing near the front door. Some were practical, others were decorative. They accompanied walks through countryside lanes, seaside promenades, village streets, or even busy city roads, ready for an afternoon stroll whenever the mood took you. And perhaps that is what links all 20 of these objects together. They remind us of a world that moved a little more slowly, a world in which things were repaired rather than replaced, made rather than bought, treasured rather than discarded. Of course, we wouldn't necessarily want to return to every aspect of the past, but there is something comforting in these old possessions because each one tells a story, not simply about the object itself, but about the people who lived with it, the hands that wound the clocks, the fingers that embroidered the linens, the letters written at the desk, the toys loved by generations of children. These things may be quietly disappearing from our homes, but perhaps they still have something to teach us about creating homes filled with character, memory and meaning. I'd love to know which of these old-fashioned household treasures you remember from your own childhood, or which ones still have a place in your home today. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.